Okay, we are live. Hello there and welcome. My name is Jen Clarke and I've got Elke Clarke here with me, obviously, too. And in this live stream video, we are talking about the top criteria that you should look for in an online business. And what that means is when you're looking for an online business or creating an online business, first of all, you probably have a reason behind why you want to create an online business. And it's definitely because you want to make money online, but that money gives you possibilities and opportunities to do things, right? Money is a transactional thing. And so why are you creating an online business and what is that driving passion behind that? And also the top criteria that matches with you and your wants and needs and desires for an online business and the platforms or the online business opportunities that are available to you and what that gives you, right? And what you're able to then use based on the fact that you have this flexibility, right? And the reason why we're talking about that today is because, first of all, Zazzle gives you such flexibility when it comes to time, location, and financial freedom. And you're able to create an online business that gives you the possibilities of being creative and also explore certain opportunities for you as an artist mindset if you are an artist. And if you're not an artist, it also opens up opportunities for you to become more creative and also a little bit more intuitive on how an online business can work. And also, the reason why we're talking about this topic today is because we've had a lot of people in our community, and especially private coaching clients and also coaching clients in our Profit by Design Academy coaching program, express their love for Zazzle after being on the platform for a while and actually understanding what Zazzle can offer them. Because when you're doing research on platforms or businesses that you can create online, sometimes there's certain stipulations that go along with them, right? Whether or not you have to have some upfront costs or investment money, and or if it's really hard to understand the platform, or if it has certain restrictions. And Zazzle gives you many freedoms, and we usually talk about those quite often. And as I mentioned, time, location, and financial freedom, it goes above and beyond that, where those things allow you to explore interests and hobbies that you might have in your own personal life, like allowing you to travel more often or allowing you to, express yourself more, and having the opportunity for you to even create an online business with Zazzle while possibly you are already in a current job, and the flexible hours of working online allow you to do both and then possibly transition into becoming a full-time entrepreneur online, right? And I don't know if Elke wants to touch on some of those things that I just mentioned, but yeah.
Well, it's true. There are so many ways that people can use the Zazzle platform to create more money and wealth for themselves. You're getting so many, things thrown at you on Instagram and YouTube and anywhere else that you're on the platform where they're telling you, oh, I can make like $10,000 in a minute. It's just getting ridiculous. But what you really want is to sift through all of that and find out what a very good business model is online that you don't have to reinvent yourself by starting like a Shopify store or an Etsy store where you've got to start from scratch and then start to get traffic to those stores and then be able to sell. Zazzle's got all that. It's already established. All you have to do is start a store. So that's the first thing. The second thing is how people use Zazzle, right? Jen mentioned creative people, but we have so many clients that are absolutely not creative at all. And yet they're crushing it on the Zazzle platform because we've taught them what they need to do, because it's really just a business, right? You're just selling stuff. And if you understand what people want, then you can sell the stuff. And our other part is easy, right? Whether you put on graphics, and I don't mean to disrespect people who are spending hours and hours trying to create something cool and unique that's creative on the Zazzle platform. There's that audience for that type of thing as well. But Zazzle's more than that. Zazzle's kind of like a Vista print. It's an Etsy store. It's a Printify store. It is everything that any other online business where you can go and get something printed is, but on steroids. It's awesome. And what's really cool for anyone who wants to start an online business, it's just like a business in a box. It's just a way to just start quickly because everything is there. The traffic is there, the setup is there, everything that you would need in order for you to just get started. The problem is, and that's why we've started the coaching, because like Jen and I, we've been on the platform since 2007. We've sold millions of dollars worth. And so that's not supposed to be like overwhelming or impressive to you. It's just supposed to say, hey, we've been there. We've been working on this platform forever, which also is really cool for when it comes to an online space, because every business that's an online business, unless you've got like one or two big names, they've come and gone, right? And so Zazzle is really reliable because we've been on it since, like, they started in 2003 with a beta version, but now, we started in 2007, and we're still making money on that platform with our Zazzle products that are in our Zazzle stores. And so the concept's really lovely, because that's the first criteria that I looked for when I was looking for an online business was, is it going to be long-term? And yes, definitely long-term. Are my efforts that I did back then still going to pay off today? Yes. And then that's kind of where we went to. We have this really lovely training program that we do once in a while, but not that often anymore. It's called Perceivable, Passive, Profitable. And that's our 3 Ps for deciding what a business should look like. And that's really what it is. It's perceivable. Yep. I don't have to, like, it sounds great, but I can also do it. Right. And then secondly, like passive, which means that it's not going to take up all my time. So I can do it as a side hustle first, get a few dollars going. And then actually, if I start to make a lot more money, then I don't have to work my same hours that I did in a 9-to-5 job to keep it going, right? And so many people criticize us on the passive part, but Jen and I, we've been making money passively for years and barely working on our stores now that we've set it up properly, right? And then the profitable is the most important, because all these claims where people say, oh my gosh, I've made this much money so far in a day, which is just, don't even listen to them. But it kind of gets at you after a while, right? You start to get jealous. You start to get really upset that, hey, how come I'm not doing that? Because like they said they are. But what they're doing is they're making money based on revenue, not profit. And so how much they made to get, like how much did they spend to get that money is a whole other story, right? They spend thousands, tens of thousands on Facebook ads. They, put a lot of time and effort into social media following. So there's a lot of stuff in there, whereas Jen and I post our products and they sell, right? Like the lack of like talk about it all of a sudden makes you realize, oh, well, I could do that. And that's also part of the perceivable, right? We need to bring all 3 of those in to say, yes, this is a business model that will not only work for me online, allow me to have a side hustle, but can build it into a full-time business, even though I'm not going to work full-time hours. And I'm going to get pretty darn good profit out of it, considering how little I have to put in, right? And so that's a really important first piece, and the criteria that we used in order to decide what to do on, I like to pick Zazzle, because we didn't just pick Zazzle. We tried a bunch of other things. We picked, we did all the other print-on-demand companies, some of which aren't even around anymore. And then we tried Etsy, we tried Amazon, we tried so many different things. The only thing we haven't tried, even though I've got a Shopify store, is like, this is so much work. I don't want to do this. I don't want to run ads to this. I don't want to deal with licensing products from somewhere. I just want to be able to go like, oh, look at these 1,500 products that Zazzle has. What do I want to, post today for sale? That's all you want to do, right? And so that's kind of all the boxes were ticked for us. But what's really cool is all the other ways that our clients, and I mean, we came up with some of these ideas too, but our clients are now using these more than just, hey, I just want to start a side hustle, right? They're using the Zazzle to market their brick and mortar. Their artists are using it to create swag or to create other merch that people want to buy in addition to their paintings. We have people who are just willing to put up the stuff that sells the most on Zazzle, and they take a bit of the market share, and then they use their money to invest in investment properties. It's really cool. So there's like a catalyst to other things. There's a full-on in, let's create a brand and sell it for millions of dollars. There's others that like put stuff up and hope that people will license their stuff. like a, Barnes and Noble, or sorry, not Barnes and Noble, what is it, Pottery Barn.
Very
And all of
burn.
yeah, all of those things have happened. We've even had some of our products in movie shoots, right? Because it's copyrighted material that you are putting up there that's yours, and you keep getting royalties from it somehow, or you get to merchandise it better and make more money because you are like basically creating a fulfillment site, right? So all of these things are so cool. And if any of these resonate with you, then like they're not all going to resonate with you because they're all for different people. But you can see the scenarios that make it such a versatile, lucrative opportunity that it's worth a try, right? Just to even check it out. Anyway, that's so important. And you can see my passion in it because Jen and I actually used many of those things. And we're really kind of excited for some people that were our clients, and then also people we just saw who used the Zazzle platform in order to jump off to the next place, or some that just decided this is the big deal and they're making six figures a year really nicely. And I love that because like that's what you want, right? Something, those 6 figures are their profit, what they're getting back like after costs, right? Because there's very little costs except for maybe some graphics and some investment in courses and training like we do and offer. And Jen's suffering from allergies, so give her a break. She's doing her best. Yeah.
No, but it's very true. And I love that you touched on the fact that nowadays with social media and things that are popping up online more so, where people are becoming influencers, or even their own business coaches, or owners of another business, not particularly a Zazzle business, but just opening up the expansion to anybody who is a non-creative person. And this is another outlet for them to use the platform to create merchandise, to create their brand, and to up-level themselves. And we have people who have done that. And then you can even see it now as I'm like with influencers on Instagram. We
Yeah.
had some clients who have like famous pets, which is kind of really neat too. And so they're using their famous pet as a way to brand themselves on Zazzle, and then also sell their merchandise for their pet on Zazzle. And then above and beyond that as well, where we have people who are now, maybe even a stay-at-home mom, or somebody who's been interested secretly and creatively on their own, because they like to look at, what are the trends for baby showers or birthday parties, or even this whole trend with moms and kids and even the husbands dressing up all in the same clothing for Christmas morning or for Halloween, like even in matching everyday outfits when they do these photo shoots. And it's really cute to see that, the mother or whoever's part of that whole organization of getting everybody to dress up the same or to have a really amazing planned birthday party, that person has an interest in, creating this amazing space / event and occasion. And so if you're passionate like that as well for your own children, then you can actually use that creative outlet and not buy other people's stuff. You can actually create your own, which is kind of neat. And so inspiring stay-at-home moms to know that their basic knowledge of already things that they do for their kids, or things that they want to do for their kids in the future, like plan themed birthday parties and or themed Christmas events, etc. You can use what you already know and create your own versions and actually make money online doing so. And so I've had some friends of mine who are stay-at-home moms start to dabble into creating products online with Zazzle. And it's something really it's fun for them to do while they have some time off from taking care of their kids. And it allows them to, be creative and also have the possibility to earn some extra money on the side, so that you could go and take your kids to, let's say, a surprise Disney World vacation when you weren't really thinking about that in your financial plans for the future, and we can never make any income claim statements, but knowing that if you were just being somebody as a stay-at-home mom and looking for an extra hobby / even a potential business in the future, because we always say it's not a hobby, it's a business, know that you can start out having fun and really being creative with everything that really inspires you already, right? And also that there is this huge transition online. And I speak about online because I follow a whole bunch of people on Instagram. And so people are sharing their stories more so than ever, right? Your personal insights into, oh, I had a bad day, or, oh, I have allergies today, or whatever. And so you see and resonate with people online, and knowing that you can open up to people and also be creative in the online space. But on Zazzle as well, it gives you more of that introverted place as well, right? Where you can be behind the camera or not behind the camera, but still make money. And that there's an opportunity for you to you don't have to be a huge influencer online, right? And you don't have to tell your whole story online, but you can if you want to. Or the people who are more inclined of doing that and like sharing their stay-at-home mom stories, right? And being more open about wanting to transition and wanting to get out of the workforce. And I'm kind of rambling here, but I know that
Yeah,
like
a little bit, but it's okay. I think we're getting a lot of resonating people,
yeah, I mean, I'm
and
just
you have to think of it from this perspective. Like, look at me as an example of what's available in the future for you, right? Like when I first started, Jen was little, right? 2007. She's not that old, but she, I still have two more like 5 years younger kids at home, and so I just wanted to stop working my 9 to 5 and still make the same amount of money. But by doing that, and then I just want to be home with my kids and not miss out, right? Because I was doing corporate stuff. And a lot of people who are on the Zazzle platform as really successful designers and sellers are actually that, right? They're like me, who were going like, I need something else that's going to like substitute my nice 6-figure income, but that allows me the flexibility to be able to just like, take kids to soccer games or volunteer at the school or pick, kids up for lunch, which is what Jen loved. Me, standing at the school waiting for her. We walk home for lunch, go back, and she just loved that, right? And so that part is really important because you get to do those things. You get to be a mom, but you
yeah.
also get to keep your corporate persona and your own identity, so that when they grow up like she is now, then you are actually still independently financially successful, right? That's a biggie for me, that I had an identity outside of being a mom. I didn't just lose all that stuff that I built up for corporate. And then the fact that the income was there too, because it really helped with the kids for later on when they don't have any debt. They all got taken, sent to schools and paid for university and helped out with their houses. That's all my Zazzle earnings. And so they sort of got really a lot of benefits from the fact that I did that as a stay-at-home mom when I first started out, with just a vision that I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss out on any of the things that they were doing while they were growing up. So that's really cool. But then the second thing is now I taught my kids entrepreneurship, which is exactly now why Jen's here on the screen with me, because she's amazing. And she actually went to, she was pre-accepted into the MBA program. And then she realized, well, I've actually already given her more of an MBA than she ever could possibly get from the MBA, courses, because she's already got her own online business that was doing really well because she has her own Zazzle store. It's so fun to see where the benefits are once you start this business, realizing there's so much that can happen. And so if that helps you resonate as to what could happen for you in the future, then that's one of the other criteria to choose Zazzle, because of all the things that it ticked off in terms of the boxes. But it also just there's so much benefit in terms of what can come out of it. And Jen was saying a lot of, she said a lot of different things, which I really...
I'm coming back to why I actually got to that point, because I started rambling on. But what I wanted to say was that, even what Elke's explaining right now in terms of your drive to want to go to soccer games and to pick me up for lunch and stuff, a lot of those things were internalized and not really expressed outwardly to people. And then also maybe to your friend group or something. But nowadays it's a lot more common for women to actually find the courage and also feel like they're able and capable of changing the way their lives have been, right? Because they've been part of a corporate job, or they were told that this is the way that you need to make money. You can only have 1 year for maternity leave, and then you have to go back to
I had
work.
4 months.
Or yeah, 4 months. And so like that's where I kind of was getting at, is that now with social media, and that being able to dive into people's thoughts, and that we're a lot more open in terms of our wants and needs and expressing our feelings online, so we can actually hear resonating stories with other people and say, hey, I'm not alone. That's where I was getting at, is where I follow a whole bunch of women on Instagram where they're like, I'm done with this. I want to be able to be my own person and my own boss. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids. I'm exhausted, and I'm just watching my kids grow up right in front of my eyes, and I'm not able to spend quality time with them. And that there's this whole shift of where women should be empowered to know that they are able to have both, like Elke mentioned, that you're able to make your own choices and be a mom, and then also enjoy living your life and not have to struggle being told what to do in a 9-to-5 job. Or as Elke mentioned, and if you were like, okay, you only have 4 months to make sure that your baby's all good and grown up before you have to go back to work, right? And if not, and if I mean, I don't remember personally, but Elke told me that I would be taken to the lab where she works at the university when I was a baby, because she had to still obviously be part of her, show up for her 9-to-5 job. And so now it's a lot more flexible, especially if you see the benefits of Zazzle, and that we empower women to say, this is a possibility for you, right? That's where I was getting at.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, and keep going with all the examples. Like, I think that's the thing we want to get across today is, you don't know what you don't know. So please ask questions while we're on here live about, would it be okay? Like, would it be good for you? And we want to hear that more in the comments, and see, we can respond if you'd like to any questions you might have. Like, how does it work for me? But there's so many ways that it can work. And that's the cool part about our coaching program, because we help you understand how you can build it to make it suit you. Even though the result is the same in terms of earning money on an online business, it depends on how you put it together. With our coaching, we help you, because we've, so many people from all over the world, in all walks of life, all ages, and all capacities in terms of their abilities. That's all taken care of because our coaching program is so robust, because we kind of did it all, right? Like, I have a science background. I had to learn how to do graphics, and I had to learn business, but I did, and it worked, and it was easy because I finally got the training I needed, and all that training is now in our coaching program. So it's so fun to see people who go like, well, I can't do this, or I don't think I can manage that. And then all of a sudden they go like, it's working. That Star Wars line where he goes like, he's on the pod racer, and he goes like, it's working. It's like, yeah, like literally people are shocked. But that's what makes it so fun for us to do this coaching. And we love hearing from people who have seen possibilities that they never even expected they could have. They just kind of come with us like, I can't handle this anymore, just like what Jen said. And I think that's the key, is like, they're looking for a solution. They just, they don't really maybe have the answers to everything, or they have a lot of failed attempts. And so now they're going like, well, this is the only thing I haven't tried. And so they come sort of with a mindset that is already defeating. But what we do is we make sure that we check to make sure that they've, got the drive and the desire and a really good reason why, because it's not a get rich quick scheme, right? It is a very important lesson to learn, and it's the very first one to learn, and it's one of the biggest points in both Jen's book and my book that we have on Amazon, where you've got to let go of your artist ego. You've got to do that mindset work to understand that this is not a get rich quick scheme. There are no get rich quick schemes. The only one who benefits from a get rich quick scheme are the people who are selling you the stuff to get rich. And that's the part that we struggle with, because we want to make sure that you understand that we're not here in any way to make gazillions of dollars. We're here to empower people. Yes, we have to run a business, and yes, we have to charge for our stuff, but we're not like you don't see us running around in a Lamborghini or something like that. I think that's really important to understand, that don't listen to those people. Instead, understand what's right for you. What is it that you need out of a business? And then do you need a business coach to help you create that business and succeed in it? And that's where we've thrived. And that's why for 7 years, we've been helping people be so successful on the platform, including just constantly talking about it because it's such a great platform and we've benefited from it for so long. And it's actually grown with us. Like initially it was, I want to stay home with my kids. Then it was like, then unfortunately my husband passed away. And so then it was like, thank God I have this Zazzle business, because otherwise I wouldn't have an income. And then now it's like, well, I have no debt. I have paid off everything. I have a nice house. I've got investments. I've got a retirement fund. So now I can choose to travel, which is kind of full circle, because that's how Jen started out, because she wanted to travel. And a lot of our clients are that way. They want to be like nomads. And so that's one of the ways that they start out on Zazzles, because they want the freedom and flexibility to move around, but still make money and not make it whenever they want to go see the Parthenon or something like that when the tour is on. Instead, they can do a little bit of work in their hotel room at night. And so I think it's so cool how flexible the Zazzle platform is to work on, and also how stable it is once you actually do what we call the business rather than the hobby, right? Hobby means throwing stuff up there and just go and thinking, oh, I've just generated a gazillion AI images and they should all sell because I made them by asking the ChatGPT to prompt, make me 1,000 images and then stick them on t-shirts. It's not going to work like that. Okay. And people realize that right away, that's like, they're not going to buy those things. Instead, you have to understand, just like any other business, what is it that you serve and offer? Like, who do you serve and what do you offer that's unique enough that people will open their wallets for? And that's what we teach in our coaching program, because that's the cool part. Every single one of you actually has an interest or something unique and different that you are like either interested in yourself or you have to offer in terms of a skill or like an essence of what you would like, just like what Jen was saying, where people are already, doing these parties. They know what they want, but they're searching throughout the stores and they can't find it. Well, that means that you have that secret sauce. You have that ability to go like, well, if I want it, someone else will want it. And then if you put that up for sale, then you might just get some sales, right? Or it might be a runaway product. So many people in our coaching program and also others on the platform have come up with something that you would have never thought possible as like, oh, that's going to be a bestseller, but it is, because it resonates with so many other people.
Yeah.
And that makes me so excited because of this flexibility.
Yeah. And there is also something about, there's like the pleasure that you get out of actually making your first set of sales. And then also the fact that you now feel confident in yourself that you can become a business owner, because a lot of people, like there's that transaction that happens is like, oh my gosh, somebody actually bought one of my products. Wow. Like then you kind of stepped up to the next level, right? You feel good because it's the weirdest thing, but a lot of us don't give ourselves enough credit or have the confidence to actually think that we can do something until something shows us that we're capable of it, right? Like we get a gold star or we make a sale or something like that. And so this is me just saying to you that even if you haven't had that feeling yet, every single one of you who's watching here is capable of making a sale or selling something and having that feeling of worthiness and confidence, right? That you are capable of doing that. And those positive emotions that are associated with whatever feeling that is actually fuel the fire and make us want to perform more and do more, right? There's sort of this challenge that happens afterwards. And so if you can get to yourself in that certain mindset, even at the beginning, before you've seen results, then you know that you can even push yourself further. Like, and Elke mentioned, like, you don't know what you don't know at the beginning of wherever or in the middle of this conversation. But when her and I first started out on Zazzle in 2007, both of us were independent Zazzle designers on our own, right? We both found, Elke actually found Zazzle for me and for herself, but then we both decided to set up our own stores. And when we did that, it was a really great accomplishment to start seeing sales, but we didn't know what we don't know. And we didn't know that many years down the future, first of all, we would be able to have consistent sales as an income passively, right? And like when we first started out, it wasn't on our radar. But if we could go back in time and tell each other certain secrets of the future, it would be like, keep at it, because this business could be still running for you 10 years in the future. And it would also be, don't underestimate yourself, or just because you don't see results today doesn't mean that you can't or won't see results tomorrow. And also that you don't know what will happen many years down the road, right? I mean, Elke and I have also transitioned into becoming Zazzle coaches and expansion experts because of the knowledge that Elke created with our 5 strategies throughout her process of, doing her Zazzle business, right? Because she wanted to make it work. And so even her wanting to make her business work has now translated into us being able to connect with so many people around the world. And allow us to share our story with you. And not that everyone is now going to become a Zazzle coach or do something specific related to that, but you don't know where your Zazzle business is going to take you. You don't know if your Zazzle business is now going to become, something that people, it's like a big brand name like Louis Vuitton or something like that. Like, just because you're on a platform and it's not something that you've created physically by yourself and created a fashion brand or anything like that, have big hopes and dreams for yourself, right? If you think of Zazzle just as your fulfillment center, it doesn't mean that your business can go above and beyond that. Maybe you want to have a blog, maybe you want to have a podcast about wedding invitations or baby shower designs or something like that. Then there's so many possibilities for you in the future. And it just starts with Zazzle, right? And it starts with having the opportunity to have that time, location, and financial freedom that Zazzle offers you, right? Where you can then explore things that maybe you didn't think were ever possible. That might also include traveling and fulfilling like a travel hobby that you have never really been able to explore before because you've been constricted with your 9-to-5 job. Or maybe you're in a point in time where you really want to retire in the next couple of years. And what does that retirement look like? Where do you want to be? Do you want to, what household, which location, all those things. And so the opportunities are endless for you if you start to think of things in the future and understand that there are so many possibilities out there for you, right? You don't know what you don't know.
And just to finish this off, because we've been on for half an hour, and do we have any comments that we should be addressing?
I've just been showing them on there, like on the screen here. I don't know if you can see them when I pop them up, but
Okay,
I've been
of
sharing
course.
them. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, what's really fun as a way to end this off is we have to ask you, right? What is it that you're looking for? You kind of got like tempted by, oh, I want it like this. This feels like a dream to have an online business, but then so many people are making so much money off of it. It's got to work. And so when you have all these things in your head that are constantly coming at you, you just kind of go like, okay, well, I should do this. I could do this. And we love that enthusiasm, but don't fool yourself in going like, I can do this by myself, because otherwise you would have done it already, right? And so that's the really important part is Jen and I, like, okay, so Jen said that we both started our businesses, but like I started it before Jen, and I struggled for 2 years. Then because I struggled for 2 years, I actually decided, okay, this has got to work. I quit my job. I wanted to stay home, and I promised this to myself and my husband that this was going to work. And it was like very embarrassing that, like, to me, I was like mortified that for 2 years I couldn't get this thing to work. And I tried a whole bunch of other stuff while I was trying to get Zazzle to work. And this, it just, like, I was just not in a good spot. But what I did then was I realized I need business training, because I was like, came from a science background. I had no business training. Here I am trying to like make this work. And it is a business, right? So then what I realized once I got the training was, oh, I have to implement business stuff into the, like, I've got to figure out who I'm targeting, right? Which is, and figure out my skill sets that I can actually deliver on that, what they want. And then I have to produce what they want. and then I have to market what I have. Then I have to do the business stuff. Like I have to be accountable. I've got to be consistent. I've got to get just do all the 1, 2, 3 that I just mentioned, but do it like not just when I feel like it, but consistently, even when I didn't feel like it. And then I had to analyze what worked and what didn't, and fix what didn't, or try something else, and then keep doing what worked and do more of that. And so that's just like a very generic summary of our 5 strategies. And it's just because that's a huge business model. Now, what's really cool about our training is that we make it very specific for Zazzle, so that you know step by step, like literally, like click here, do this, add this product, whatever. And I think that made a huge difference, because even though the business principles are there and they get taught that, but having it very specifically applied to the Zazzle platform doesn't need for you to kind of go like, oh, well, she said this, but now how do I make that work on the Zazzle platform? Instead, it's like, okay, she's telling me to do this. I think that means strategy number 1. And I think that makes it so much more doable, because now you don't have to waste 2 years of your life before it gets to work. And we tested it out on Jen, and it worked a lot faster. She got results a lot quicker. And now our clients are getting results even quicker, because we're getting so much better at teaching them. And we're also keep developing in short form, like shortcuts and better downloads and guides and whatever else. And and we've turned into teachers and coaches, which is cool, because we were just introvert designers and so we're getting better at teaching and coaching too. And so our clients are just getting better and better results quicker than we ever did, which is awesome. So all of that being said, is make sure that when you start, that you don't think that you can, play basketball at the National League level if you just, bought a basketball and bought a hoop and never had any training. It just doesn't make sense. Whereas for some reason, because Zazzle's free, everyone thinks, well, it's all there. Then they give you some guides, whatnot. And actually it's fun, because the guides are now better because we've been training people. So they've actually started to put more of the stuff that's on the Zazzle platform to help people, because of what we've been doing teaching for the last 7 years. However, they're not teaching you the business of Zazzle. They just teach you how to open a store. They don't know how to teach you how to create a business with that store. And so if that's important to you, and you don't just want to play around yourself, and you want it to get results faster, then obviously you know where to find us. But I really feel strongly about it, because in that transition period, just like I was incredibly mortified, I tried so hard to stay motivated and not give up. And I gave up many times. And we've seen over and over and over again in the last 7 years of our coaching is that the people who were almost ready to give up gave our coaching a try at the very end and realized they actually could do it, because they started getting results. And every time someone says something about our training and our coaching, it's like, I wish I would have started sooner. It's really sad, because I get that, and I want those people to start right at the beginning in order for them to succeed quicker, because Zazzle's a long game, and it takes a couple of years to really move, like get all the things in place so that you can start to exponentially see your sales grow up. And that's actually, or go up, not grow up. And that's actually what's always happening, right? Our students do well, but slow and steady. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, they just made like $100,000 in a year, or, oh my gosh, they just made $200,000 a year. And that's earnings, that's profit. That's not sales, that's earnings, which is so cool to be able to see someone who put the investment and time in and did the work, kept checking to make sure it's done properly, stay the course, and then all of a sudden it starts to pay off big time. And then it stays consistent, because we've had so many clients that also have had life events like COVID, which like floored them for 6 months, or their, parents passed away, or they, had to go for some sort of surgery, which they needed time for recovery. And all those people that set their stores up and then they had a life event happen that were already successful before the life event, they didn't lose sales. And sometimes they actually gained sales even though they weren't working. That's called passive income. And I love that part because that's exactly what happened to us as well. Like Jen and I, we hardly worked on our stores for a couple of years after my husband passed away. And they kept going and it kept making the money. And if you resonate with that, then this is like almost like a heartfelt plea, because it happened to me. And if it wasn't for Zazzle, I would be in a totally different situation right now. I wouldn't have been able to take the time. I wouldn't have been able to feel that secure financially. I wouldn't have been able to just like not, function for 2 years, even though I was still making the money. Imagine if I wouldn't have had to do that. And I think that's why we're so passionate about it, because it's really a long-term helpful platform that can give you what you need, even when you don't know what you need or if something unexpected happens.
Very true. And I think so many people have resonated with you and with me, and all of the comments that we've said. I've shown them up on the screen here, but just everyone who has been part of our Profit by Design Academy coaching program, or even in our community, maybe has gone away for a while, always says that they've learned so much from us, that they really feel that we give them extreme support and that we're very passionate about what we talk about. And
Yes.
that they're inspired by us, because it's a big thing too. And I know we said that we're going to wrap it up and that we had talked about something else, but to wrap up, maybe what that wrap up was is that Elke has created this opportunity for people to come online within a Zazzle community and feel supported. Like there's nothing like what we offer, whether it be on our YouTube channel, whether it be on our community that we used to have on Facebook, or what we do now in our Profit by Design Academy coaching program with the community and our weekly calls that are private group coaching calls. There is nothing like that available on the online space to support Zazzle designers and creatives or non-creatives who want to build an online business, potentially with Zazzle, right? You might be a Zazzle lover and then you come into our community because you need help on Zazzle, or you might be inspired because you want to create an online business or make money online and you don't know what that venue is right yet. But we show you the way and we guide you, and we show you that Zazzle is an amazing opportunity, bringing it full circle to the top criteria. What you should be looking for in an online business is that something that gives you the opportunity to live the life that you want to live and gives you the freedoms that you want, particularly, right? And whether that be location, time, or financial freedom, Zazzle is a very all-encompassing platform that allows multiple different people, no matter what type of personality or what type of interest they have, to create a catalyst for the exploration of their life, right? If they want to just change something completely and be very independent and have total freedom, it has the possibility for you to do so, right? Whether that be travel, investment properties, whether that be retiring early, whether that be extra money for your little kids, so that, like Elke mentioned, I didn't pay for university or anything going up for my education because my mom had been able to create her online business and support myself and her two other young children as well, and then pay off her house, right? And going through a lot of hardships. And I find my mom extremely incredible and very inspirational, because a lot of hardships happened in my mom's life. And the fact that she just kept on pushing through and was able to give extreme support to so many people related to her that she loved was a huge, it's an amazing accomplishment. And I know that my mom is very proud of that every single day. So no matter if she has a Lamborghini or not, she knows that she helped her children. And that's so much more fulfilling for my mom and for myself as well, now as a young adult who I'm looking, to maybe create a family or do something going forward. And I want to, that inspiration and that education that my mother has given me now portrays in my own actions going forward. And so how does that relate to you in your life and what you want to do, what situation you're in, and, where you want to go, whether you're in a relationship, in a partnership, if you have a family, if you're independent, if you're single, if you want to change the way that your living conditions are right now, if you want to quit your job. There's so many different ways to interact with the Zazzle platform based on who you are and where your background is from, right? And just knowing that wherever you are and whatever your situation, if you're willing to do the work and you're willing to invest in yourself and invest in your business, Elke and I will be there to support you, right?
I think that's the way to end this, is that, yeah, the business that you choose also has to have the support to get you there. Like, even though in Etsy, for example, you now have this Everbee program that gives you some information about what's the latest, like like exposed and overextended trend and what are the keywords, but that's just having you chase like something. It's not a business model. It's basically just giving you an insider information. And since you have it, so do all the other people that have like a lot more facilities to just kind of crush that and get there before you even start to profit from it. And I think that's the wrong kind of business model. And the same thing with when people ask us, like, what niche should I sell in to make money on Zazzle? And it's like, no, you sell in all the niches and you provide intentional products that match the demand of the customer. Like, that's so much better, right? Why do you think there's like multiple different coffee shops, multiple different gas stations, multiple different, like everything? They're all hitting on the main things that people always buy, but they're bringing a different spin to it. And that's what you have to do as a Zazzle business. And that's what we teach, rather than chasing all the trends and trying to always be the first, because that's not sustainable and it's very exhausting. Okay, but thank you so much for being here. We're so excited that we get to do these lives because we just want to like get back into it. We've been doing the podcast, but that's been a while, and we're working on getting those back. But in the meantime, you get to enjoy us here on YouTube, and we're so glad that you've spent 40 minutes with us.
Yes,
45. 45.
Thank you so much for being with us. And tomorrow we will be going live again. We have a scheduled call. Let me just see here on YouTube at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time again. And we're going to be talking about if you're cautionary of starting a business on Zazzle, or if you're worried because there's not much information out there. Is Zazzle reputable? Is Zazzle credible? And obviously today, after today's session, you can definitely say, yes, it is. But just informing people that there is information out there, and that Elke and I are Zazzle expansion experts because we know what we're talking about. We've been on the Zazzle platform for so long. So we're going to be diving into that tomorrow for our topic. And obviously we like to always throw in so much more information in there afterwards anyway, just to give you a big boost. But yes, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube, like we did today. All right. Bye.
Bye.